Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Reagan Gross and Chris Alf. They are members of the cast of Disney's Newsies, taking place here at Troy University. I want to thank you both for joining us here today.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Newsies. For a lot of people, they know it as a movie that was out in the 90s, but it's also been turned into a musical, a stage production, and that's what we're looking at here, Troy's version of Newsies. So for anybody out here who's watching that's unfamiliar with Newsies, first off, give us a little bit of background on what is Newsies. What's it all about?
So Newsies is about the strike of, is it 1899, I want to say?
so.
Newspaper, newsboy strike of 1899. And this is basically an event where the newsboys struck back against bad working conditions. But the show itself is basically like they sell papers, but the price gets raised, so they decide they're going to go on strike. And it basically, the whole thing plays out, and it's just the story of a bunch of boys uniting and taking down the man.
Taking down the man, as a bunch of boys taking down the man. But obviously, a lot of folks know this from the movie that they grew up watching. So for anybody out there as actors who are trying to get prepared for this, did you watch the movie? What kind of background do you have in it? So
I watched the musical version from I don't even know how long ago that it was, but I watched it in high school, but I didn't want to watch it again before the show because I didn't want to feel biased. So I didn't watch that, and I've only watched a few minutes of the original movie version. So
is it the same with you?
I've seen the musical a few times. There's a couple aspects from the movie I thought was important to my character. Like in the musical, I have parents, but they're never seen on stage. They are in the movie, so I kind of wanted an understanding of what they were like. Actually, I don't think her character exists in the original movie.
Hell yeah.
So she doesn't. She
or not in the same way.
Not in
anyway.
the same way. I think we're like brother and sister.
Yeah, we're
in
brother
the
and
original.
sister in the movie.
Yeah.
But so it changed. So obviously, watching the movie, there's differences between the movie and the musical, the stage version of it.
Right, and Catherine has a lot more of a voice during the musical version. She actually is someone who helps get the strike, in the newspaper. She writes the story.
Well, here's the thing about it's a musical, obviously. So you're looking at big production numbers, right? What are we looking at cast-wise, production-wise, all that sort of stuff when folks come to see this?
It's a huge cast.
It's a big one, yeah, for sure.
It's very awesome. It's one of those things where when you're sitting there, I haven't seen it from like an audience standpoint, but I can only imagine how overwhelming it can look. But it's so awesome just to be able to watch the videos after preparing, and it's just like, oh my gosh, that's us.
I've been able to see the opening number from the audience, and I was kind of blown away. I was like, wow, that's really impressive.
And this is a full-blown, you've got dancers, you've got actors, you've got all of the elements of theater and dance all put together to put together this cast, right?
Yeah. We have a lot of dancers that are majority doing very advanced dancing, and then we have people like us who are like, we're gonna sing for you, so that kind of thing. So
we sing good.
We sing good.
Yeah, we sing good.
Well, and that's one of the cool elements, especially this program, is that you're able to have a cast like that and be able to integrate all these different elements in there.
We're very lucky.
And what does it mean for you all as actors to prepare and get yourself into a role like this?
Oh gosh. For me, I have a very hard time not pulling into 2022 Reagan. So I have to remember that they wore corsets. They sat straight up like the women during that time, and Reagan, myself, wants to lean forward in conversation and talk, but we have to be more reserved. So learning Catherine's posture and learning how to walk as Catherine was difficult for me because I want to be modernized. But I think that I'm making big strides. So what about you?
I'm kind of similar. So for Davy, it's an interesting musical, right? Because there's modern elements with the music and the dance. I mean, obviously this isn't what they were doing back in the day, but it's kind of similar but different for me. It's trying to take something modern that people can understand, but still making it feel as if it were in that time. So giving you something kind of streamlined so you understand what's going on, but it still fits in the time.
And you're a college student playing a boy as
Yeah,
well too. So
basically.
that's another interesting element to it. So
Yeah.
now, if anyone is interested in checking out the show, when and where, and how can they get tickets?
So you can go on Troy University's Theater and Dance page, and the tickets will be online there, and
Okay.
they'll be live actually tomorrow, I think. It's the 22nd. So just be checking that part out. And it runs from March 3rd to the 6th.
March 3rd to the 6th, 7 o'clock on all those nights, and the location, what theater?
Crosby.
Claudia
Claudia
Crosby.
Theater. You got to have a big stage for a big show like this.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
All right, big stage, big show. Tickets on the University Theater website. They can pick up their tickets there. And I want to thank both of you for joining us here today and with the show. And well, as I say, break a leg. So, all right.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.